yeah, it's a weird,
But
just
there's no,
smiles.
you've carried no bitterness, have you? Or you have dark
rage. I carry rage.
And how do you deal with that, Carol?
Yeah, so every emotion, you can't stop an emotion, and I don't worry about what comes. And it's like, there's no right and wrong. When they come, it's what I do with them. Sometimes I drink. Sometimes I medicate. Sometimes I do lots of meditation. I would be very much into a very broad way of living life, and I pick groups that I join. But you see, murder is ugly, it's brutal, it's violent, it's horrific. So I deny nothing, because I would not do that to my husband. Someone recently said, I'm only going to remember the good times of John. And I went, oh my God, his death was part of his life. And I love him so much. So how do I manage? Some days I'm on my knees, Rossa. Some days I shake from head to toe. I go to different type of treatments that are supportive to me. I am around groups that help me. I'm in a beautiful reading group. My friend, she's a professor, and she wrote a book, The Power of Love. She went all over the world to meet all different people from all walks of life. And we read that book and look at, even in the most horrific circumstances, people have found a way to take a step forward. So that's the groups I hang out with now. I've had to walk away from so much. I've lost so much. I've been stripped bare of so much. So how do I have good friends, beautiful friends, who don't have agendas, who don't have an opinion. I have 2 beautiful children and their legacy. I see John in them, even though they're their own. But sometimes, Rossa, I really don't know. And that's when I say to life, I am so pissed off and I do not know how to take the next step. So you come up with the answer. And I literally will stand and go, I don't know what to do anymore.
And you stand still and wait?
I do, and it comes. Yeah. Do you get that?
Yeah, well, I have no problem with silence and waiting, and some people do.
Terrifies
them.
And
before even 10 seconds have passed, they have to fill it. And sometimes I feel in the silence, it sounds poetic, but sometimes in that gap of the silence, solutions do come.
Couldn't agree more. I love stillness.
Yeah.
I love silence. And I would talk in the morning to my beautiful soul's gone ahead. And then I use a beautiful oracle card and I'd say, what do I need to know now? And I have a meditation and it's called Sip of the Divine. And I just say, okay, and it's imagery. And I just say, can you just help me? What do I need to know now? I find silence, and as a therapist, people are terrified. It's their thinking, it's I find silence beautiful. I find it terrifying. It's probably one of the most resourceful places since John was taken from us that I go to, because you can't get much darker than being with your husband when he's been brutally murdered. So I get great.
And that's the way it was with Philadelphia. You were there.
Horrific, yeah, absolutely horrific, absolutely.
And
brutal.
how do you retribution? How do you reconcile that? Can you?
You see, no, for what? I mean, seriously, for me, it's like in the horrific brutality and what we've had to experience, even on the night, my friends, and I sat. My husband bled to death, and I sat. Now the man who had murdered him was nearby. I didn't know that, but he looked at me as he left this earth. So I'm going to go into the beauty of it in the most horrific, because the man who, with bottles from behind, brutally murdered my husband. So John got out and the paramedic said, we don't know how he got back to you. I said, my husband could move mountains. So he was on the floor and the screaming, it all stopped. And John looked at me until he left this earth. He died and I sat in what no person should have to. But I was with him. And as Amy and Connor said, Ma'am, what you had to experience, and our 2 friends who were either side, they said, but if Dad had been in the toilet on his own, that would have killed us more. Yeah. So I was with my husband having, as he died in the most horrific circumstances, but I know that absolutely has an impact on how I moved forward in life, for sure.
In a funny way, it gives you strength.
Absolutely. Yeah. He was with me. I was with him. And the love, Rasa, in his eyes, the love was divine. It was just and a sadness, but the love, you know. And then there's all that was around us. But I was, and I know for Conor and Amy, I know that makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that strength is important, isn't it, to go forward? And
and also the fullness of who you are as a human being, you know, to allow that. Don't buy into the pack mentality. You know, my granddad John's dad, he said to me, he's really one day, I said to him, I have something to say to you. And he said, what? And I said, you know, what happens when you follow the crowd and all, or the whatever, the herd and all? And he said, what, Carol? And I said, you stand and shite. I said, you know, it's like, don't. It's so, and as I said, I get to work with beautiful people now as a therapist, Rosa, and there's such similarity in what we fear, what we worry about, and it's like, you know, be heroic, be brave, live the life as awful, and everybody is suffering. And I always think what Viktor Frankl said, you know, everybody has their Auschwitz. And I agree with him. And it's like what me and you are saying, surround yourself with the right people, which will be brave, because you will need to say goodbye and you will need to say hello. And do what your soul, do your passion, even if it's mad and batty. You know, it takes courage.
Does that come with age, though, Caroline? I mean, I look at younger people now, my daughters, for example, and the whole anxiety of every day. You
unbelievable.
I know it's a first world issue in a way, but the anxiety they self-impose of trying to meet expectations that nobody's actually setting for them.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I do. I think, though, if every age talks, there's a lot of wisdom in that. And what I love, if I'm working with people that are riddled with anxiety and fear, and I'd say, okay, back to standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, because we are Shanachis, the Irish, you know. And I would say, okay, you have your nervous system, and your nervous system was created from pre-generation, from who you were brought up with, your community and your culture, okay? So allow that to be. You're carrying elements of it. Don't feel hard done by in the sense of it's like it doesn't define you. But within us, and if we go back to you were saying a word, we have the ability to self-regulate. We have, if we take the ownership. So all of the ages, I'd often talk to my guys and Amy'd say, look, I'm caught in that. And I said, you should be, you're in your 20s, you know. But there's another part of you that has this ability to manage your nervous system and not to be constantly, you know, battered by social media. And I know that age group has buckets of wisdom. They're coming from the previous generation as well.
Yeah, it's just only if they could find it sometimes themselves.
There's a lot of people at our age, Rasa, that do not have it either. You know what I mean?
I know,
does it come with age? I don't believe so, having worked in the world I've worked in. No.
It's either there or it's not.
Yeah, well, or a mixture. And also we've choices. You have, there's always possibilities. You choose what to bring into reality. And we don't like that.
No, I find the young, in my family's case, making a choice seems to be the hardest decision.
Huge.
Yeah, and I always was able to make choices, not always the right ones.
Yeah, but you made the choice.
I had to make it. Yeah. You can't sit around on the fence, you get sprinters.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
But my daughters, there's a lot of overthinking about is this the right option? Are you sure? Is this real?
Yeah.
That tires you out.
And it's and they, you know, like our conscience, our gut, it's like a compass. Yeah. We know underneath, but that youth, we don't want to take it away either from them.
No.
But yeah, it is different. And I have Conor was 18 and Amy was 18 and Conor was 21 when their dad was taken from us. So they've had no choice in life. Yeah. They'll never see life the same again, which is devastating, but there's beauty the same. We see things, our tolerance level, like, you know, which for me, my tolerance level, it wasn't great anyway. So now it's like, and that's okay. That's okay. And also my quietness, I'm chatting away here and I'm really grateful. Yesterday I was shaking from head to toe and I thought, oh God, I hope I can go up and meet Rasa. So I said, please, this is something I'd like to do. But I was shaking from head to toe yesterday, my nervous system. And now I'm here. And what I keep remembering is, there you go, there's the more than.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
You've
delighted.